The family's bulldog refused to let the baby leave his old, tattered bed. Every single time. When Sarah finally discovered why, her hands wouldn't stop shaking. For 3 weeks, she'd thought it was just another strange quirk from their stubborn dog. She'd laughed about it with her husband, posted videos online, called it adorable. One afternoon, she noticed the blood on the floor. Dark red paw prints trailing across the hardwood. That's when everything changed. What she discovered hiding in plain sight across her entire living room floor was so shocking, it would haunt her for the rest of her life. Before watching, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss another heart-gripping story like this one. Sarah Mitchell had always prided herself on being a meticulous mother. Her home sparkled. Every surface gleamed. When 8-month-old Owen arrived, she'd upgraded everything. New playmat with educational patterns. New toys, new everything. The house had to be perfect, safe, clean. Then there was Duke. The 60-pound bulldog had belonged to Sarah's late father. When he passed 6 months ago, Duke came with the inheritance. Sarah had never been a dog person. Duke was old, stubborn, and frankly, she found him unsettling. The way he stared. The way he followed Owen everywhere with those drooping, intense eyes. He needs to learn boundaries, Sarah told her husband Marcus one evening, exhaustion creeping into her voice. Owen was crying again, reaching for his new playmat, but Duke had physically placed himself between the baby and the colorful foam squares. Marcus sighed, rubbing his temples. He's just protective, Sarah. Protective? He's obsessive. She moved Owen toward the playmat again. Duke immediately grabbed the baby's onesie gently in his teeth and dragged him back toward his old, disgusting bed in the corner. The thing was ancient, fabric worn thin, stuffing visible through holes. Sarah had tried throwing it away twice. Both times, Duke had pulled it from the trash. "Look at that thing," Sarah gestured, her voice rising. "It's filthy. It probably has fleas, and he keeps putting our son in it. He's not hurting him. That's not the point." Sarah felt something snap inside her chest. She hadn't slept properly in weeks. Owen was teething. The house felt too small. And this dog, this inheritance she never asked for, was making her feel like a stranger in her own home. "I'm calling animal control tomorrow, or a shelter. I can't do this anymore." Marcus's jaw tightened. "He was your father's dog, Sarah. My father's gone." The words came out harsher than she intended. The silence that followed felt heavy, suffocating. That night, Sarah lay awake, staring at the ceiling. In the baby monitor, she could see Duke's hulking form curled around Owen's crib, always watching, always there. The next morning, she made a decision. She'd bought the new floor cleaner 3 weeks ago, the popular brand everyone raved about online, made floors shine like mirrors. She'd been using it daily, sometimes twice a day. The house had never looked better. She set Owen on his new playmat, then physically blocked Duke from reaching him. "No," she said firmly. "Stay." Duke whined, a low, desperate sound that made Sarah's skin prickle. "I said no." She pointed to the corner. Duke didn't move. His eyes fixed on Owen, body trembling with restraint. Owen giggled, slapping the foam squares with his tiny palms. See, everything was fine. The dog was just being difficult. But Duke wouldn't stop whining. The sound escalated to sharp, frantic barks. He paced, circled, tried to push past Sarah's legs. When she blocked him again, he did something he'd never done before. He grabbed her sleeve in his teeth and pulled. Hard. "Marcus," Sarah shouted. "Get him out of here, now!" Marcus appeared in the doorway, confused. "What's going on?" "He tried to bite me." It wasn't quite true, but Sarah's patience had shattered completely. "I want him gone. Today, I don't care where. Just get him out of this house." "Sarah, calm down." "Don't tell me to calm down." Her voice cracked. Owen started crying. Duke's barking grew louder, more desperate. The entire scene felt like chaos spiraling out of control. Marcus moved toward Duke, reaching for his collar. That's when Duke did something that made them both freeze. He ran to Owen, grabbed the baby's onesie, and dragged him across the floor toward his old bed. But this time, he didn't stop there. He kept pulling, kept moving, dragging Owen toward the front door. "What the hell?" Marcus lunged forward. Sarah's heart stopped. The dog was trying to take her baby. She rushed forward, scooped Owen up, her mind screaming, "Danger, danger, danger." Duke jumped up, pawing at her legs, leaving streaks of something dark on her jeans. Blood. Sarah looked down. Duke's paws were raw, bleeding. The pads looked burned, skin peeling away in strips. "Oh my God," she whispered. "Marcus, look at his feet." Marcus knelt down. Duke whimpered, but didn't pull away. His paws were destroyed, red and weeping. How did this happen? When did this happen? Sarah's mind raced. Duke never left the house. He spent all his time in the living room, following Owen, walking on the floors she cleaned, multiple times a day, with the new cleaner. Her throat closed. "Put Owen in his crib." "What? Sarah? Do it." She was already pulling out her phone, fingers shaking so badly she could barely type. The floor cleaner brand. She searched for it, reviews, complaints. Her vision blurred as she scrolled. There. Buried in recent comments, warnings, reports of chemical burns, pet injuries. A quiet recall issued 2 weeks ago for certain batches. Skin reactions, severe irritation, not safe for prolonged contact. The bottle in her cleaning closet swam into focus. She grabbed it, checked the batch number against the recall list. Match. "No," she breathed. "No, no, no." She looked at Owen in Marcus's arms, his perfect, soft skin, his tiny hands that touched everything. That playmat he'd been sitting on, the floor she'd cleaned this morning, yesterday, every day for 3 weeks. Sarah's knees buckled. She grabbed the edge of the couch, her chest collapsing inward. Duke had been walking on those floors. His paws were burning, and he'd been trying to keep Owen off them. The only safe place was his old bed, untreated, unchanged, the one surface she hadn't cleaned with the toxic chemical. "Marcus, check Owen. Check his skin, now." Marcus pulled up Owen's onesie. There, on his legs where they'd touched the playmat, where his hands had pressed the floor. Small red marks, the beginning of a rash, spreading. Sarah's world tilted. She grabbed her phone, dialed 911, her voice barely working. "My baby. Chemical exposure, skin reaction. Please, we need help." The next hours blurred together. Paramedics. Questions she could barely answer. The hospital. Owen crying as they examined him, treated him, ran tests. The doctor's grave expression as she explained chemical burns, absorption through infant skin, how much worse it could have been. "You caught it early," the doctor said. "Another few days of exposure." She didn't finish. Didn't need to. Sarah sat in the plastic hospital chair, Marcus beside her, both of them silent. Owen slept finally, his skin treated, his small body safe. But Sarah couldn't stop shaking. "The dog," she finally whispered. "Duke. He knew. He was trying to tell us." Marcus's hand found hers. His grip was tight, desperate. How? His paws. He could feel it burning him, and he kept Owen off the floor, kept him in the only safe place. Sarah's voice broke. "I almost got rid of him. She couldn't finish. A veterinarian came later, called by the hospital to check Duke. They'd brought him in, his paws bandaged, his old eyes watching Sarah with that same intense stare. The vet examined him, treated the burns, then turned to Sarah and Marcus. "Dogs have incredibly sensitive paw pads," she explained. "He would have felt the chemical irritation immediately. Every time he walked on your floors, it was hurting him. But he kept doing it, kept patrolling, because he was protecting your son." "Will he be okay?" Sarah asked, her throat raw. "His paws will heal. But if you'd waited much longer." The vet's expression said everything. That evening, they brought everyone home. Sarah sat on the floor, Owen sleeping in her arms, Duke lying beside her. She reached out with trembling fingers and touched his massive head. He leaned into her palm. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I'm so sorry. You were trying to save him. You were hurting yourself to keep him safe, and I didn't see it. I didn't understand." Duke's tail thumped once against the floor. Sarah felt tears sliding down her face. Marcus sat beside them, his hand resting on Duke's back. "Your father knew," he said quietly. "He knew what kind of dog Duke was." Sarah nodded, unable to speak. She thought about all the times she'd dismissed Duke, resented him, wanted him gone. He'd been a guardian angel she'd mistaken for a burden. He'd sacrificed his own comfort, walked on burning floors day after day, just to keep Owen away from danger she couldn't see. She pulled Duke closer, buried her face in his wrinkled neck. He smelled like antiseptic and old dog, and she'd never been more grateful for anything in her entire life. That night, she threw away every bottle of the floor cleaner, researched safe alternatives, called the company, filed a report, warned every parent she knew. The new playmat went in the trash. Duke's old bed stayed exactly where it was. And when Owen reached for it, laughing, Duke beside him like always, Sarah didn't stop them. She sat and watched, understanding finally what her father had known all along. Some protectors don't announce themselves. Some love is quiet, persistent, painful. Some heroes have 4 legs and bleeding paws and refuse to abandon their post even when it costs them everything. Sometimes the dangers we cannot see are guarded not by the things we trust, but by the ones we've failed to understand. What we dismiss as stubbornness might be devotion. What we mistake for interference might be sacrifice. And sometimes the line between tragedy and salvation is held by a creature whose love asks nothing but offers everything, even when we're too blind to recognize the gift. If this story shook you, opened your eyes to the unseen guardians in your own life, don't forget to like this video, comment your thoughts, and subscribe for more powerful stories. Share it with friends and family, because sometimes the protectors we need most are the ones we almost turn away.